one-day workshop on income computation and disclosure standards. India Inc. is going through radical reforms. One such reform, one such change with the intention of bringing about a change in the application of accounting principles is through the implementation of ICDS. It is beyond doubt that these standards change the way the income is computed and will materially impact the tax computation from financial year 15-16, that is assessment year 16-17 onwards. Today's workshop, we will be discussing about the various standards and the related aspects threadbare with the help of our expert speakers. To inaugurate this workshop, we have with us Ms. Nutan, the Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. May I now request C.A. Prabhu to kindly escort the chief guest onto the stage and also welcome her with a bouquet of flowers. I request C.A. Geeta to escort C.A. Gururaj Acharya, the workshop coordinator, and also welcome him with a bouquet of flowers. Over to the chairman, C. Prabhu, for the welcome address.
Our distinguished chief guest, Mrs. Nutan, Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Bengaluru. Most dependable and motivating coordinator of today's workshop, Sri Gururaj Acharya. My colleagues in the managing committee, distinguished members, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I welcome you all to this workshop on ICDS. In 1996, under 145(2) of the Income Tax Act, 2 accounting standards were notified, and thereafter nothing was notified. There was lack of clarity regarding the accounting treatment on various taxation policies, and this has resulted in a lot of litigation between the taxpayers and the tax authorities. In 2002, the CPDT had formed a committee to review the position, and after taking suggestions and feedbacks by the stakeholders, in 2015, it published 10 accounting standards and made it mandatory with effect from 1/4/2015. With this, totally, we have 5 categories of accounting standards. Mr. Gururaj Acharya will be explaining us all these 5 accounting standards and the applicability of the same. Apart from that, in this workshop, we attempt to understand the applicability and the scope of the ICDS so that it will support us in correctly assessing the total income and accordingly pay taxes or recommend our clients to pay taxes. All our speakers are experts in this field, and we are hopeful that this relevant workshop is going to be a rewarding experience for all of us. With this brief note, I welcome you once again, and now this vote to Shravan for further proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is a privilege to introduce the Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Ms. Nutan. Ms. Nutan joined the IRS in 1979 and has worked in different capacities in Karnataka and Goa. On promotion as Deputy Commissioner, she went to Nagpur in 1989 and also worked in Pune till 97. In 97, she again was transferred to Karnataka and worked as an Additional Commissioner of Income Tax in Range 6 of Bangalore. On promotion as Commissioner of Income Tax, she joined Chennai region in 2001. As a Commissioner, she has worked in Chennai, Bangalore, Raipur, Indore and Mumbai till 2013. On her promotion as a Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, she joined the Bangalore region in December 2013. From November 14, Ms. Nutan is also holding the additional charge of the Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, CDS, Bangalore. Ms. Nutan is passionate about painting, playing table tennis and reading books. With this introduction, I welcome the chief guest once again. We also have with us the backbone of today's workshop, C.A. Gururaj Acharya, who is presently the senior partner of Mrs. K.J. Acharya & Co., specializing in corporate finance and corporate taxation. He has been a rank holder at various levels, including first rank at BCom University level, 3rd rank at CWA final and 10th rank in CA final. He is a director on the board of directors of the State Bank of Mysore and is also a chairman of the audit committee of the board. He is a member of the Karnataka State Level Audit Advisory Board, and he was also a co-opted member of the Expert Advisory Committee by ICI in New Delhi, that is during the year 2014-15. With this introduction, I welcome the workshop coordinator. I now request the dignitaries on the dais to kindly inaugurate the workshop by lighting the lamp. I also request all the delegates to kindly rise as we play the ICI motto song.
Yaeshassukteshu jagrati Yaeshassukteshu jagrati Kamam 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 kamamsho Pursho nirmimana nirmimana Tadeva shukram Tadeva brahma Tadeva brahma Tadevamritamucchate Tasmin lokaha shataha Sarve tanuna sarve kashtana yami kashtan Etat vaita etat vaita etat vaita etat vaita etat vaita
Acharya to kindly present a brief overview of today's workshop.
Good morning to all of you. Honorable Principal Chief Commissioner of the Income Tax, Mrs. Nutan Vodeyar. Namara Nutan Vodeyar, because she comes from Karnataka and we are very proud to have the Karnataka at the helm of the Income Tax Department of Karnataka. The chairman, who is always been a support and an inspiration to me, Mr. Guddur and Mrs. Geeta. It's a great privilege to stand before you and honorable dignitaries to give you an overview of the day's program. As the chairman rightly said, Section 145 subsection 2 of the Income Tax Act has been there for quite some time, which empowers the central government to notify accounting standards. And accounting standards were notified, which were only 2 in numbers for almost 20 years now, which was just Accounting Standard 1 and Accounting Standard 5, corresponding to Accounting Standard 1 and Accounting Standard 5 of the Institute, called as Notified Accounting Standard 1 and Notified Accounting Standard 2. Now, what has happened in between is those accounting standards were verbatim reproduction of what was there in our accounting standards, in the accounting standard issued by the Institute. Now, later on, there were a lot of other accounting standards which came into play, which I will explain in detail when I come to my session in particular. With the introduction of Ind AS in particular, which is going to be applicable from next year for all the corporates, the department felt that there are double standards. There are 2 standards for the purpose of accounting. So therefore, they felt that they have to come out with their own accounting standards, and they rightfully came out with an accounting standard called the Income Computation and Disclosure Standards. Again, the history and all, a bit I will take through my introductory session. Now, for the real income to be, all of us are chartered accountants, for the real income to be captured in the books of accounts, the best way for the real income to be captured in the books of accounts is to abolish all taxes. Now, if I may say that as one point, Dubai we consider there is no income tax in Dubai. Therefore, probably the real income will come out only in Dubai. Now, if I say that, that will also be not right. There is another problem that if income tax is abolished, people would come and show more profit than they actually earn. For the sake of earning per share, for the sake of valuations, for the sake of so many other share price rigging or whatever. So finally, we have people who come out with for the purpose of tax, reduce the profit. For the purpose of valuation, increase the profit. So if I consider that as a takadi, if I consider that as a balance, the balance will be properly established with the support of standards. So that is standards in short, which brings a parity between the tax income and the valuation income, if I may call, and come out with the real income on the top. So that's the very purpose of standards. Now we always say, if a person of accounting standard talks, he will talk from the accounting income perspective. And when a tax person talks, he will talk about the income keeping the tax in mind. Now he would like to bring as low tax as possible. Therefore, we have accounting standards. And again, let me tell you, for all of us who have already been tuned to accounting standards, and for all those assessees who have been complying with accounting standards in detail or in particular, the effect of ICDS will only be marginal or incremental. And for all those assessees who have never been following any standards, the effect would be revolutionary. The effect would not be incremental, it would be revolutionary. So that would be the effect. I mean, we will see how it would impact each of the assessees when we get into the session proper. So therefore I see that for the corporates the effect would not be as much as it is for the non-corporates, because the non-corporates, they're always saying the accounting standards is not applicable to me. Now we, through the institute, was always saying that it is applicable from the perspective of the chartered accountant. The chartered accountant in the assessing, the chartered accountant auditing the books would always say that the accounting standards, if you don't comply, I'm going to report. I mean, the assessee wouldn't care. He says, go to report anything that you want, as long as my taxes are lower, I don't bother. So for the non-corporates, the effect of ICDS would be large, and for the corporates, it would be incremental in nature. And let me assure Madam and the entire income tax department which she represents that we as chartered accountants play a great role. I know that there are a lot of actors in the game of collecting taxes. You are the play a major role, and of course the hero of the entire movie, if we may call, is the taxpayer himself. But we play a great supporting role as chartered accountants in educating the clients, educating our own people before the standard itself comes into play. In fact, we have been holding a lot of sessions. In fact, tomorrow I am addressing the same topic in Belgaum. In fact, a lot of sessions have already happened in Bangalore by various learned speakers, because we want to bring the whatever CBDT has brought out by way of notification. If it is left in the papers, it will never reach its reality. So we as chartered accountants play a great role in educating the assessees and bringing the real spirit of the standards in place. So that is the role of the chartered accountants, madam. And then about this workshop, we have designed in such a way. In fact, all these times, as I was saying, two sessions on ICDS has already happened in Bangalore branch, as I know. Today, we decided to have a one whole day. In fact, people were saying, one whole day on ICDS, is it required? And then I was looking into the Bombay CA journal, which says they are conducting a 2-day workshop. In fact, left to me, there are 10 standards in ICDS. I would love to have one standard per day. In fact, that is the amount of detail, so it would be a 10-day session. But having said that, all of us are busy, so get the best in the limited time. So we have designed in such a way that we will have all the 10 standards spoken by absolute specialists in the subject. We have Padam Kincha coming here at the end, we have Shyam Ramadhyani, and then we have the smart and young Sachin joining immediately after my session. All specialists in their field, and I will be there throughout the day for adding comments on the accounting standards. I mean, I would only say accounting standards and ICDS. Accounting standards, incremental, with the income tax is ICDS. In fact, yesterday also I was saying, income computation and disclosure standards is nothing but a standard which controls the computation of income. All these while we were very clear with computation of income. We said that we start with the net profit as per profit and loss account. We add certain items and no, add some more items. No, in fact that would be the way future, and deduct very few. In fact, add certain items by virtue of the Income Tax Act, add some more items because of ICDS, and deduct very few provisions, because this morning also I was reading in the newspaper that they are going to prune down lot of exemptions and bring in, of course, the tax rate from 30% to 25%. Good, as far as the deductions are concerned, it will be greatly reduced. As far as the additions are concerned, probably it will continue with the double effect now. So that is the details about this particular workshop. The speakers are excellent, and of course the audience is always great with us. So this is my broad overview. Thank you so much. I will see you again after Madam's inaugural lectures. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the crisp overview of the workshop. May I now request the CCIT, Ms. Nutan Woodeyar, to kindly present her keynote address to the gathering here.
Professional education, and known for it is known all over India. They are known for educating the public and also for educating the assessees and their own members. So this is a great way that you have started with this workshop. I hope other cities also would follow, and they will also like to imitate the good steps that you are all doing. And one thing in a lighter vein I would like to say, I think at the end we should say, the chartered accountants can say, we need not worry, it will all add up in the end, and if it doesn't, you will make it add up. And about women chartered accountants, I may say, if some have a feeling that women don't work hard, I think of course one can say the women get it right for first time, so they don't need to work. I hope that this workshop will be a very interesting and very useful session for all of you. And I would also like to take a message from your this workshop that we should also try to do in our department also. We need to train our officers to implement these provisions, because from next assessment year onwards we will have to do, and for advanced text also we will have to apply this. So we will take a good message from your workshop that maybe in our department also will start this educating the officers. And thank you for the patient hearing.
Thank you, Ms. Nutan Woodeyar, for your words of appreciation to all the chartered accountants as well as the chartered accounting profession, and also for giving a brief background about the ICDS. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. May I now request the Secretary of Bengaluru Branch, CA Geeta Adil, to kindly present the inaugural vote of thanks.
I take this proud privilege to propose vote of thanks this inauguration of this workshop on behalf of Bengaluru branch of ICI and all of us present here. I take this opportunity to express our profound gratitude to Ms. Nutan Woodeyar, Principal Chief Commissioner, Income Tax 2, Bengaluru, for being with us and inaugurate this workshop. Ma'am, your informative address is well received by all of us, and we remain grateful to you for having been taken your time off from your busy schedule and graced this occasion. Now, I request our Chairman of Bengaluru branch, Sri Alama Prabhu, to present a memento to Ms. Nutan Woodeyar as a token of respect and appreciation. Let me profusely thank CA Gururajacharya who has taken the initiative to coordinate this program and to be one of the speakers. In fact, all our speakers of today are always with ICA and especially with Bengaluru branch in assisting us to conduct various programs on topics of professional interest. On behalf of Bengaluru branch of ICICI, I sincerely thank today's speakers, CA Padamchand Kincha, CA Shyam Ramjani, CA K. Gururajacharya, and CA BP Sachin Kumar for having consented to be the resource persons to address our members on different standards on income computation and disclosures despite their very busy work schedule. On behalf of Bangalore branch, I thank all my professional friends who have joined this program and shown their keen interest in learning and updating, paving way to uphold the quality of our professional interest. I thank one and all and the people who have directly and indirectly supported us to conduct of this program. We sincerely hope that today's workshop will give a fair idea about the different standards on income tax computation and disclosure standards. Happy